position. It's blown open quite a bit. It's a lot less closed than our other board.
Yeah, it's good news for Hikaru Nakamura. Meanwhile, up 5 minutes on the clock and with some big threats potentially. I'll just do a very quick action replay for those fans here in Vegas, but also at home who want to see how this position exploded. There's some tension. Watch out for that black queen, the black sniper, the bishop as well from afar. Everyone has seen those bishop memes probably by now, and this bishop reminds me of that. But I'll just take us back a few moves to where the symmetry was broken. We talked about this kind of central tension for ages, and Magnus, he allowed the first capture, and it was one mistake, I'm going to say a tiny mistake from Magnus Carlsen that has landed him in a bit of trouble as we see him looking down, not too happy with his position. He moved his bishop here. This is given a question mark by my computer at least, and that's because the bishop is on a slightly ineffective diagonal. Black gets out the way, the white king also shuffles. We see the symmetry almost continue and be re-established, but when the dust has settled, it's the black pieces that look more active. This bishop looks phenomenal right now, helping create some threats. This black knight superior to the white knight, and now the black queen as well, much more active than the white queen. So be careful, Magnus Carlsen, would be my advice, and I don't think he's enjoying this, Tanya.
Be very careful, because Hikaru has set up a big threat on the board. You know, you were talking about the queen and the bishop combining ideas against the white king, the h2 tender spot. You take your eye off the ball for just a second. Let's make a non-move move here, David, a move that might look like you're improving the position, and then suddenly the black knight jumps out of the way, hits that white queen from the center of the board, and that's a huge double attack. Because yes, you can fall back with your queen, and the line gets even prettier. The only way to defend that checkmate in one, and you know, we've all known of the smothered mate that comes. It might not be a mate in one, but it's a mate in two. The knight now jumps in with a huge check. The white queen has to take it, and it's game over. Queen takes pawn, boom, and that would be a checkmate in three if Magnus Carlsen isn't careful. He would have spotted this. He knows that this is the idea that Hikaru step up, but not that easy to counter it.
Yeah, you're going to have to do something to protect this pawn. The move you probably want to play is to try and kick away this black knight, but that just creates even more weaknesses around your king. It means the white king will never really be safe for the rest of the game. So uncomfortable, Magnus, that's for sure.
Bit of an uncomfortable position here for Magnus Carlsen up against Hikaru Nakamura. But in this moment, we are very happy to be rejoined back by popular demand, and for good reason. It's been
Oh, okay, then it feels good, of course.
Okay.
He knows exactly how loved he is.
I know, he's downplaying
the
it.
modest card.
No, stop going on internet, because sometimes there are not so nice comments there, so I just stop, so I don't know what the public perception is.
Says the guy who posts 3 photos every day on Instagram.
If I had a smile like that, you would never stop seeing photos of me on Instagram, if I'm being honest. I mean, talk about that, though, a little bit as a pro player. I mean, that's the life of a pro player, right? Is you are subject to so many eyeballs, so much criticism, so much pressure. I mean, that's, again, what all of these guys, they know they're stepping on stage under the ire, you know, of both their fans, but also, you know, the ones rooting against them as well. That can't be an easy life.
I mean, I would take this life for any day, but I understand what you mean, that initially when I was streaming and I was doing a lot of content online, I used to get bothered a lot by the hate comments, for a lack of better word, but then you develop a thick skin and you realize that, yeah, it's just part of the internet, and actually our brain is very funny. It just goes to the negative stuff, but there are like 80% which is good, which you kind of ignore, and it's like, you know, when you like extract your tooth, your tongue keeps going to that one place where there is no
yeah, you just can't help it.
It just keeps going there. So it's the same with the negative comments, but I think most of it is positive. I think chess community in general is like very positive community, but of course there are some exceptions.
Shout out to our fans.
Absolutely, shout out to all of you. We don't exist without you at home watching events like this. A bit of a scary situation here for Magnus Carlsen. We were looking at obviously some elementary ideas. We don't expect him to fall into a mate in two or anything like that, but how do you evaluate this position so far, and the fact that Hikaru Nakamura seems to have reasoned himself to a decent position?
Magnus will not be happy with what he got. He'll not be scared, but he'll not be happy because he just wasted a couple of moves with the bishop, the light squared bishop earlier on in the game. And if anyone is better here, it's black, obviously, because he has the attack and better piece placement. Although, having said that, I don't see huge trouble. There's an idea of pushing the G pawn and then the F pawn afterwards. Let's say the knight, drops there, F pawn. And then, the bishop on B8 is kind of like stopped with this pawn chain. Of course, white is not better, but I don't see why it's significantly worse for Magnus. But I think he's just overall not pleased with the position. He has been under pressure for the last couple of moves, and Hikaru can't complain. He got like a very fine game. Now the real question is, will Hikaru be able to put more pressure on Magnus? Like, he has a slight edge. Will he manage to create more problems? And then, top players, of course, they see all the ideas, but over a sustained period of time, if you keep posing threats, eventually you crack under the pressure. So that's the real test now. I don't see Hikaru at the board as well, which is interesting.
Also a real test on the clock, right? Magnus has been on a very long think, and the plan that you pointed out, push those 2 pawns to blunt the bishop. The fact that he's taking so long, there's something he doesn't like about it. He's reaching out for the knight instead.
I don't like that. I don't like it.
Looks a bit superficial, right? The white knight isn't super stable. It does guard the vulnerable spot on h2. I was just going to speculate that Hikaru is away from the board. Nobody has visited the confessional booth this week so far. Maybe Hikaru thought this was the moment. Up 10 minutes on the clock.
That would be the play.
Boss move.
Yeah, that would be an absolute boss move to do that now. It's a good point that maybe the confessional booth has fallen a bit to the wayside here in Vegas. Speaks to maybe a bit of the format changes. Things are moving a bit quicker here, so players maybe not feeling like they have the the ability that time is too precious to a degree.
I mean, for me, it's like an impossible task. I'm always low on time. David can relate. For me, if I go to confession booth, I'm just like increasing my worries.
The thing is, we'd get in time trouble anyway.
Actually, how are you defending it? You might have to give some checks and come back with your queen eventually.
Yeah, still slightly unpleasant for Magnus Carlsen. Bishop pair, that's the big difference here. Dark squares are a bit weak. Maybe you can push 1 pawn forward, and if the black bishop moves, maybe get the white knight in, but I don't know. This still feels a bit hairy for white. But the clock advantage for Magnus should be enough to help him find a decent defense.
There seem to be 2 ideas. One is to give the pawn on b2. Let's say you put the bishop on b3, attack the pawn yourself, takes, and now you bring the knight. Go for full-fledged counterplay. You give the pawn, king moves.
Looking a bit scary.
Yeah. And the other idea is to just push b3 in the initial position. And once you attack, you bring back the queen with check to defend the pawn.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. And just on the f4 square, keep things defended and then reroute your knight.
Yeah, so to summarize this position before we go back to the other game, looks like Hikaru creating some threats, but Magnus probably should be able to find ways to hold on.
Magnus's heart rate is so low for the position.
It was 40 one day. I mean, we were terrified for him, and it was working.
41?
Yes.
Fairly dead even, maybe a draw.
Yeah. Like, black is going to repeat now. Wherever the king goes, you keep checking, and there's no way to escape the checks, and it's going to be a draw.
It's going to happen right here, right now. The white queen 2 offside to come to block any of the checks.
Yeah, queen goes back, and then they repeat.
It's playing out. Hikaru definitely the more disappointed of the 2.
Here we go. The final moves of this game. You can see it in Hikaru Nakamura's face. Disappointment on the front foot for the last 40, 50 moves. But Magnus has hung tight and will hold this one.
Just having these opportunity against Magnus Carlsen, you don't get that chance. And Hikaru knows it. He's been in these matches. He knows when you get it, you have to strike. And it slips out of his hands, which means it's a match reset going into that second final rapid game. Hikaru, he's thinking about what's gone by, not what's on the board right now.
Magnus is a pawn up, so Hikaru will not play on. The tension between the bishops as well keeps the perpetual check going. There we go, it's another check. We'll see the handshake now. Hikaru looks really, really annoyed.
Nobody wants to play him.
And there it is, resigning themselves to the draw in the end. It's half a point apiece here between Hikaru Nakamura and Magnus Carlsen.
Wait, after king g5, which one?
No, king. When you play king g5, queen g7, I think it's probably okay for white.
Yeah, okay.
But I thought queen d6 instead.
So wait, so check king g5 takes.
Where do you mean takes?
No, wait, so
Yeah, check takes. Yeah,
Queen
takes.
f8, king g5 takes, king f4,
Queen
queen
f6, queen king e3, bishop f5, queen f3, queen e6, queen d4.
King e6 check, king d.
King
f4,
c3,
check.
king, and then queen d6.
After king f2.
Yeah.
No, I saw this, but I thought here it's still. What do I think?
I can probably go queen d2, king g5, king g2.
Yeah, I mean this is
But
probably
it-
fine.
I don't know. There's king
But
h5.
also, I mean, I blundered the order because you could have done the other one after bishop b6. You can also just go queen takes d5 here too. Because bishop c5, you sack the queen with knight f4. There's also
my
this one too,
God.
I think. It's I mean,
I
it's all a
didn't-
draw.
yeah, I didn't
Yeah, as soon as I
see-
played, I saw this order.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, earlier I probably got equal.
Yeah, I mean, I just missed bishop d2. Like I was.
Yeah,
I thought I
bishop
was.
d2 and then
I thought I was
problematic,
slightly
yeah.
better there. So. And then I'm just losing all this.
Probably.
Now it's around 1 o'clock.